Hey everyone, I want to welcome you back to the Versatile Experience. I know that I have not been on here for a while, and of course, I was probably about 13, 14 weeks my last video, but I became so overwhelmed with school and the pregnancy that I just hadn't had time to really upload you know, any content or anything. But today's video is going to be about my birthday experience. So keep watching. Welcome back everyone. So let's start from, okay, let me just go here. So at 28 weeks, I was diagnosed with gestational diabetes. Okay, gestational diabetes is diabetes when you're pregnant, basically, and it's based off of your hormones and the placenta. It really has nothing to do with your diet or anything like that, but age, your weight, and family history of diabetes definitely plays a role in that. And on my dad's side of the family, there is a history of diabetes. I'm 34 years old, and I can say that I'm overweight. For me being 5'4", I started out my pregnancy at like 169 pounds or something like that. So for that weight, I was considered obese, basically. So once I was diagnosed with gestational diabetes, I got on this strict diet, even though they recommended certain things, but I took it upon myself to like just go full force with it, because I wanted me and my baby to be healthy, for the most part. So eating whole grains, no white bread at all, a lot of protein. You do have to still eat carbs, but you have to eat healthy carbs. You can't eat certain starches, nothing but water, straight water. I had a few black coffees here and there, but straight water. So okay, I'm not gonna get into all of that because it's about my birthday experience. So the gestational diabetes, I was diagnosed with that at 28 weeks. So at once I got into around my 8th month, they started talking about induction. And of course I'm like, I don't want to be induced, I want her to come on her own, and because I was diet control, I felt like I should be able to deliver on my own, because I saw stories. I followed this group on Facebook where women that were taking insulin, they were actually shooting insulin in their stomachs, they were being able to go to 40, 41 weeks, you know what I mean, to deliver their baby. And here I am, diet control, sugars are dang near normal, and I'm being induced. So I would talk to my midwife and let her know that like I really don't want to be induced. Why am I being induced? And the only thing that she could tell me was because I had gestational diabetes. Okay, so I had been going to a high-risk doctor, perinatal specialist, because of a fibroid that I had. Fibroid never grew or anything like that. So because I was GD as well, they took care of that. And I even spoke with him about me being induced, and he was like, no, you should be able to go to 40 weeks, because you're technically not high risk, like you're fine. So let's fast forward to 30, we'll go ahead and fast forward to the day before my induction. Okay, so once they scheduled my induction, it was for Wednesday, July 21st. We went in that night, supposed to go in at 5 p.m., but we went in at 9. So I'm skipping again. So that day before, that Tuesday, I had a doctor's appointment with the perinatal specialist and my regular OB. And the perinatal specialist, you know, my baby's weight had kind of like stayed afloat to where it was. She was on range to weigh about 8 to 9 pounds, but they estimated her dead at 7 pounds, which was awesome, being that I had gestational diabetes. They usually see 10, 11, 12 pound babies. My weight, my blood pressure was always fine. They checked my placenta. My placenta was still functioning properly. Everything was good. Okay. So I even got emotional because the nutritionist came in and everybody was just saying how proud they was of me. You know, that, you know, it takes discipline and willpower to do, you know, what I did, like to basically turn my diet around, you know, for the better. So went to my OB after that, and she checked me. I had not dilated. I was still, you know, high up, hadn't thinned out or anything like that. So induction was still a go for the next day. So I was supposed to go in at 5 p.m. I got a call from the charge nurse, and she was like, "Can you come in at 9? Blase, blase." I was like, "Okay, fine." Got there at 9. Everything was going good. The nurse that we had, well, the two nurses that we had, they were awesome. I mean, like, they were attentive. They were patient. Very helpful. I was enduring my contractions. They inserted something in me called Cervidil. It looks like a mini shoestring slash tampon. It has these little things on them, so they inserted like as close to your cervix as they can get it, and it releases these hormones. I think it's called whatever. It's supposed to help you to thin out, and once you start to thin out, it should start contractions, in which it did. I was actually having contractions before they inserted it in me, but they weren't as strong. So contractions started hitting, and you know, I was toughing them out. You know, my fiance was there, you know, rooting me on, comforting me. And I was feeling pretty good about it. You know, like I said, it was, you know, it started to get painful, but I was feeling pretty good. So, what happened next? They checked me, and I don't think I had dilated any. No. I thought I peed myself, but she told me that my water was breaking. So I was like, yay, we progressing, you know. That was, you know, a good feeling, like that, just from the Cervidil, that it was good, because I really didn't want to be induced anyway. Definitely didn't want Pitocin, because I heard those contractions were a bitch, and you know, the contractions that I had already been feeling was a bitch. So after a while, Justice started to move like a lot. So they had to keep coming in every 10-15 minutes, moving my monitors around so they can, you know, get her heart rate, get the strength of the contractions and everything. But they were doing so well, you know, that it was just the patience for me. Like, they had the utmost patience, and you know, I applaud them for that. So my immune Cervidil has to be inserted in you for up to 12 hours unless it comes out on its own. So that morning, around 6 o'clock, I want to say, it was about 6 a.m., day shift was coming on. Once the day shift came on, it was totally different. Like, they came in with the rush mentality. You know, like I said, Justice had been moving the whole time, and you know, she was still moving around, and they inserted the fetal monitor inside of me, the scalp, to put on her scalp, because I'm gonna say they didn't want to keep moving, the monitor around. But after, I talked to my doctor, she said it was to get more of an accurate measurement of her heart rate, because she was moving so much. They couldn't really get an accurate measurement of that. And they needed to be 100% sure. So that night they had prescribed me some Ambien so that I can sleep, but I didn't want to take it because I didn't want anything to slow down the progression of the labor. So that morning I was like super tired. I was like, can y'all give me some Benadryl? And I was like, well, we don't administer Benadryl anymore, but we can give you Stadol. So I'm like, is that gonna help me sleep? She's like, yeah, it's gonna help you relax. Y'all, when I tell you that shit is a beast, like, okay, it's a narcotic, first of all. And I just feel like, why would you give a pregnant woman in labor a narcotic? Like, I was hallucinating. I thought I was about to leave this world. I kept telling my fiance, I don't like this. Like, I can't go to sleep. Like, every time I feel like I was about to fall asleep, I would get up because I felt like that was gonna be it. So they came in and checked me after they gave me all that, and my contractions was hitting like boom, like I'm talking about. I could feel them, but I couldn't feel them because of that medicine. So once they checked me, I was 4 centimeters. So I was like, okay, I'm progressing. And she was like, we're gonna go ahead and break your water. I'm like, no, like, can we like try this? Let me do this on my own. And basically that was a no. She went ahead and broke my water anyway. And after she broke my water, that was it. Like, those contractions were 10 times 10. Like I said, I was outside of myself. The experience of those contractions, like, women that have had their babies natural, I salute you, because those contractions are no joke. You hear me? Like I said, I could just see myself outside of myself. Only thing I could do was moan. I couldn't breathe through them. I just moaned, even though I was breathing through the moaning, but I couldn't concentrate on the breathing. I was just that's all I was doing. And next thing I know, a whole team come in like Grey's Anatomy with their caps and shoes and stuff on. I'm like, out of it. I couldn't really say too much. Like, what's going on? And they're like, we gotta get her to talk to my fiance, because I wasn't saying anything. In my head I was like, what's going on? But they're like, we gotta get her to the OR now. I'm like, what? And so, he couldn't come with me. Like, I grabbed his hand. I'm like, you can't come. They're like, no, because you didn't get the epidural, so we got to do general anesthesia and da-da-da. I'm like, okay. Other thing I do is pray to the OR. I prayed, just like, Lord. Once I got in there, I'm like, just please let me and my baby be okay. Let's just come out of this. Amen, basically. I remember her putting the mask on, and she was like, count down, 5, 4, 3. I don't remember shit else till I woke up in the recovery, and my fiance was holding our baby, and I was so out of it. I was doped up. I had been on this anesthesia, morphine, then they started giving me perks. And think about that now. Anesthesia, morphine, and Percocet. Somebody that ain't really did a whole lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I was out of it. You know what I mean? For a while, I was out of it. And like I said, that was a traumatic birth experience for me, because my first daughter, I had her vaginally. Didn't have any issues, although I was 20 years old, so that could have made a difference. But I was more upset with myself because I should have written out a birth plan. And I thought that what me and my midwife discussed was a birth plan until I got to the hospital, and she was like, no, this is just consent. You know, if something goes wrong, you want a vaginal, but if something goes wrong, it's consent to do this, that, and the third. I'm like, okay. You know, I wanted to try to progress on my own. Like, I should have done a water birth, you know. But if you're pregnant and you want to have a vaginal birth, and you don't want to be induced, speak up. Whatever you want for you and your baby, you can have. You don't have to go with what they want you to do, basically. Although that's what I felt like, okay, I'm gonna trust them because they're my doctors, they have my best interests at heart. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. And who's to say that it wouldn't have happened anyway? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm just thankful that, you know, we're still here and healthy. I'm still in recovery right now, so I'm not all the way 100. I beat my face today. I'm halfway done with my head. So I feel a tad bit better, and you know, I did this just to make myself feel a little bit better. But speak up. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, just speak up if you want to have a certain type of birth experience. You know, you're entitled to that. I wish that I had, but like I said, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that we are still here. My baby is healthy. Oh, and the estimate of her weight was like dang near spot on. She was 6 pounds 13 ounces. And now she's so juicy, and a bundle of joy. Like, I am so ecstatic to have 2 girls, a 14-year-old and a 3-week-old. But yeah, so that's my birth experience. Like, I'm gonna come back and talk about you know, my recovery, you know, the C-section, you know, my emotions, because my emotions have been all over the place. I mean, all over the place. It has been a struggle. And I know it's been a struggle for my fiance and my daughter, because I've been needing them a whole lot. But in the end, it is also worth it, and I know it's going to be even better. And I plan on making like a banging recovery with my body after, hopefully still a little bit swollen, but yeah, you know. So that was my birth experience. Like I said, I will update you guys with my postpartum recovery, how my diet and everything is being, because I'm still, you know, I'm not gonna say not allowed, but I am, you know, basically putting myself on a certain type of diet, you know, to be able to heal a little bit better. But yeah, so if you have any questions about the gestational diabetes, you know, writing out your birth plan or anything like that, or becoming a brand new mom. Like, I feel like I'm a brand new mother, because I mean, it's been 14 years old. You know, even though I've done it before, it's a brand new still. So if you have any questions about anything, feel free to drop them below, and I will make sure that I get back to you. Like this video, subscribe, and stay tuned.